Hey, what's up guys, it's Marv, and today I wanted to make a quick video talking about the Grand Prix event that is going on right now in Asphalt 9 and how it's not really that good of a skill-based event. I know GameLoft didn't explicitly say that this was going to be 100% skill-based, but based off of, like, for example, they were giving early footage or early access to different YouTubers and stuff to explain how the event was going to work, and they sort of pushed the idea that this was going to be a skill-based event. And now, don't get me wrong, skill is definitely a big factor in this event, but there are definitely ways you can skew the results here, and so I'm going to go ahead and explain those ways and just kind of explain why I am disappointed in this event, just like most events in Asphalt 9. But at the moment, I'm in the first round of the finals, and it's definitely better than some of the other events. Like, I will 100% agree that currently it is better than the Evia event, so that's definitely a positive. But obviously it's not perfect, and I think GameLoft could have definitely done a better job sort of with transparency and telling people that yes, you can buy 1896 blueprints during the event and upgrade your car, and that will give you an advantage over the other players. So I'll quickly go through a bunch of different things that I noticed during the event. So the first thing I briefly mentioned just now is that the fact that you can buy blueprints for the car and star it up during the event itself. So if you look here, this is a screenshot of my current grouping in the first round, and I'm number 3, so I'm pretty happy. I still have 1 attempt left, so I'm going to try and get my time down even more. But you'll notice that in terms of car rank, the 2 people above me have significantly higher ranks than I do. And that is because I guess they bought blueprints and they upgraded their car. Now, I mean, I don't say I guess because I mean, I know that they bought blueprints to get a better car, and so did I. I'm not gonna lie, I paid for the relay that is currently being offered because I really want this car. So I have 2-starred my 1896, and my next attempt will be on a 2-star 1896. Hopefully that'll give me a better time, but players who don't have any tokens at the moment, they will not be able to get a better car, so they will be at an inherent disadvantage even if they are skilled. So this definitely skews the results, and obviously in terms of paying to win, there are definitely some things that were interesting. So if you did not qualify, you could pay to qualify. Now, the sort of downside of this, and which I thought was fine, is that if you paid to qualify, and let's say 2 people have like the same time, the person who paid to qualify will not be placed higher or you know, on the rankings if they have the same time in the finals than the person who qualified with an actual good qualification time. So that is sort of a thing that people have to look out for, and in terms of balancing, I think that's fair. But in terms of the fact that you could just straight up buy your way into getting a better car, I think that is very unfair. Most people, I think, will agree with me, and I wish that GameLoft told us that this would be possible, because that way we could sort of temper our expectations. But it's definitely disappointing that in a supposed skill-based event, people can just buy their way to get a better car. Now, obviously, if someone has a 6-star blueprint or a 6-star 1896 and they're bumping into walls and they're drifting everywhere, and you know, they're not going to get a good time. Like, inherently, you don't have to, you know, just get a good time with having a good car, right? So there is still a bit of that skill aspect to it. Like, you have to know how to drive the car, right? But inherently, let's say you have 2 people who are of the same skill level, the person with the better car is going to get the better time. So the next thing I want to talk about is the rewards. So here's a screenshot of the different rewards that you are going to get. And again, the grouping is of 20 players, so just keep that in mind. But if you'll notice that only the top 3 people will actually get the key to unlock the car, which is very interesting. Now, I don't know if this is more than the usual or less than the usual for a special event. For example, I know that the Jesco event, not many people got the car, like, at all, which is understandably so. However, for the Remake event, I know the majority of people, at least that I know who played the event, got the car. So, you know, it's definitely interesting that only 3 out of 20 people are going to get this car, obviously on average. I don't know if this is necessarily very bad or very good, but in my opinion, I think it's definitely on the lower end. I would have thought that maybe the top 10 people would have been able to get the key for the car. What I think would have been a better way to do this, and you can leave your comments and let me know what you guys think of this. But I would have liked it if the majority of people actually unlocked the car. However, it'd be better you did in terms of the event, the higher starred car you would have gotten. So maybe, for example, the top 3 people got like a fully maxed out car or something like that, whereas, you know, as you go down the list, the less star of a car you get. I think that would have been a better way to do it, so that not everyone feels, or like not that 17 out of 20 people feels that, you know, they just didn't get the car, and maybe they invested into the car and they didn't unlock it. So I think that 3 out of 20 is a bit on the low end. So we'll have to see how that plays out in terms of, you know, if people think that it is, you know, low. But again, I think that it's low. So the other thing I wanted to talk about in terms of like the whole paying situation is just that you can pay for attempts. And I've talked about this in the ESL event videos that I've made, and the fact that, you know, they limit you in terms of the amount of attempts you can make, because obviously you have the ticket system. Now in this event it's even worse, because during your runs you only get 3 attempts total. Now I haven't confirmed this on my device because I still have 1 attempt left, and I would like to save it for when I'm ready, but other people have told me and shown me screenshots of the fact that when you run out of your events you can pay to get more attempts. I'm sorry, I think I said events earlier, but I meant attempts. So this is definitely, I don't know, I really don't like this. I feel like players should just get as many attempts as they would like, because you're not, I don't think players should be expected to make their best run in a certain amount of attempts. Obviously practice makes perfect, and you can practice. Now of course you have the fuel system, but I don't think that's enough. I think that there is definitely a different mindset you go into when you're actually attempting to qualify. You get a bit more stressed out and whatnot, and so I think if we got unlimited attempts, I think that would have been better, or at the very least the amount of attempts should have been just strictly limited and no one should have been able to pay at all. Again, I think that's just, GameLoft is just kind of weird with this one. I know that obviously they're trying to monetize events as much as they can, but I'm still disappointed to see this. Now then, the last thing I wanted to talk about in terms of this event, and this is kind of funny more than it is sad or anything like that, but it wasn't explicitly stated, you know, in terms of my knowledge, I didn't see this anywhere, but I don't think it was, you know, explicitly stated that the groupings of players will be random. Maybe it was mentioned somewhere. I heard a couple people talking about how it was supposed to be random. However, I've been seeing in a couple discords and whatnot, people being all clumped together in terms of like at their definite skill level. So you'll see this screenshot right here. I'm just pulling it real quick so I can look at it. But if you know some of these people, you'll know that these are some really good people. So in the same group, we got RPM Alex, Arclight, and Northy. So that's gonna be one hell of a group. Keep in mind, only 3 of these people are gonna be able to get the car. So I don't know if this is completely random. Like I saw a couple people in, I guess what you could say, professional clubs like RPM and that sort of thing, and there was like, they were all grouped together with Future Flash, who was, I believe, the winner of another ESL event. So yeah, I don't know if this is completely random, but luckily I got into a fairly good group. Like there are some people who are definitely competitive, like I mentioned earlier, there are people above me, but you know, they did have better cars. But anyway, I don't know if this is fair, but obviously you look at it in another perspective, like what if these, you know, really good players were just in lobbies with, you know, complete noobs? Like, would that be fair? So this is definitely a very weird event. There's a lot of gray area here. I like that GameLoft is definitely trying out new styles of events. Like, I'm glad that this is a thing and we're just not sticking 100% to the, you know, classic releases of special cars. I like that they're experimenting. Obviously this could be improved in many ways, and hopefully they will do it for the next Grand Prix if they do decide to continue on with this. Yeah, so this is a very gray area event. I'm not quite sure how to exactly feel. I definitely know that it's better than something like the Jesco event or the Avia event, because you don't need all these different cars at gold or anything like that to even play the event. Like everyone gets a 1-star car to attempt the races. So it's better than other events, but at the same time, I think it definitely could use a lot of improvement. So let me know your guys' thoughts on the Grand Prix in the comments section down below, and I will catch you guys later.